And
Yay.
we are live. Yay! Hi,
Yay.
Sam. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. We'll let everyone sign on, and then we'll get into the interview.
Sure.
So we'll just give everyone a few minutes. But hi, I see our first comment by Chambois. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. I'm happy you're here, and to all our viewers who are signing on, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. My name is Jessica. I'm the social media and community manager here at University of the People, and it's always a pleasure to be here with you guys. Okay, and I see a few more comments coming in. Thanks, guys. Love it. So why don't our students let us know where you're from? No, sorry, our students let us know what you're studying, and our applicants let us know where you're from so we can differentiate the two. For all our applicants out there, there is an application deadline tomorrow. Hi, Kenneth. How are you? So there is an application deadline tomorrow. I did include a link to the application in the description of this event. So if you have any questions, if anyone has any questions during the event, feel free to ask us. If I don't respond right away, I will review and respond after. So thank you so much. I see more and more people are coming in. Thank you. Thank you. I would love to see more comments from you guys, though. Again, students, let us know. Like Jack is studying health science. So why don't our students let us know what you're studying, and applicants let us know where you're from. I don't know if you guys know, but at University of the People, we have 44,000 students from over 200 countries and territories. So let's hear where some of you guys are from. We have a very diverse student body, I would say. I'm sure Sam will get into that in a minute. So really quickly, a few more things about UoPeople. I'll make it really quick since a lot of you already know. We are tuition free. We do not collect a yearly tuition, only small minimal fees to keep us up and running. And if you need financial assistance, we do have grants and scholarships available for you that you can apply for, no problem. We have a very strong academic leadership team who are from the top universities around the world, NYU, UC Berkeley, Princeton. Those are like the three main ones that I always say, but there's so many more. You can always head over to our website to find out more about that. And what else? Oh, since we have so many students from around the world, not everyone's proficient in English. So if that's the case for you, we do offer an English composition course to catch you up to speed. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking so much. Who wants to listen to me when we have Sam? Okay, so
just a quick question in terms of that English language. Didn't the university launch the website in another language?
Yes, Sam. If you want a job, I think you should be my co-host always. Yes. So thank you, Sam, for reminding me. We also recently launched UoPeople in Arabic. We're on our first term right now. The website for that is www.ar.uopeople.edu. So if you guys speak Arabic, we do have options for you to study in Arabic, which is really exciting. This was an initiative that has been, it was being planned for a long time because we saw so many refugees who needed the Arabic language to further their education. But it's not just for refugees, of course. There's so many Arabs so many people who speak Arabic who need an education, just like English speakers. So that is an option. So thank you, Sam, for reminding me. Okay, so Sam is here. She is pursuing her MBA. And Sam, I'm going to let you take it from here. Maybe you could tell us a bit about yourself. How are you? Where are you? What's your background? The basics.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Sam, as Jessica very kindly introduced. I am a cancer research scientist. So I've lived in across 6 countries in the world, and currently I call Boston, Massachusetts, my home. I have a PhD in molecular medicine from Max Planck Society in Germany, and currently I'm working at the Harvard Medical School and Massachusetts General Hospital to develop new treatments for cancer, preferably brain cancer, but I'm doing a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, last year around summer, I got the idea, okay, I need to learn more about business because, of course, I know nothing about it. So I was looking for MBA programs. And the first thing that come up online when you search for MBA are the 6-digit fees that is required. I mean, it's hard for me, and it's probably hard for anyone in the world, unless you take like an obnoxious amount of loan or sell a kidney to get into a business school. So when I found UoPeople, I was very impressed. Like, most of my studying have been in Europe, where education is free for the most part, and I really believe in that concept. I don't understand why education should be so expensive that is not even affordable in the first place. So UoPeople really got my attention, and when I looked into it, the vision, the advisory committee, the founder, and the courses they offer, I said, okay, yeah, this is it. So I applied. The application process is very smooth. You can get in touch with a bunch of people if you're stuck. WhatsApp, email, it's all there. And here I am, terrified to start going to school again after my PhD, but also excited.
Okay, Sam, I think you're hired. Do you want to be my co-host? You are amazing, so engaging. I love it. And I love your energy also, very exciting. So I'm just curious, how did you get into this field? Like, this is a very you are researching cancer that's very specific.
Yeah.
And was there an event in your life that, influenced this decision?
Yeah, that's a great question. In my life, like I have been changing goals quite often, although the basic vision remains the same, that I need to keep working to find a cure for cancer. Recently, or about 2 years ago, I decided that, okay, why don't I start my own pharma? And that will give me a lot of freedom to pursue stuff the way I want. Like, there are many ways to cure cancer these days, and it's not just the standard chemo radiation. And given that we are having exciting technologies coming up, I thought, okay, you know what, I want to do this my way. But the big obstacle in my way is that as much as I know about the field, cancer and technologies, I know nothing about how to do a business. And pharmaceutical, at the end of the day, is a business foundation. So I thought that I was taking courses here and there. They offer a lot here, but it's like scattered information. And after trying that for a year, I realized this is not going to work. I think I need to go for a degree course where I'll learn everything from scratch and then build it up one by one. And that's when I decided, okay, I need to go for MBA degree where I can learn the business fundamentals, accounting, statistics, organizational behavior, and so on and so forth. So that's my reason why I started looking for MBA, and finally I'm enrolled in one.
Okay, just a short, simple answer. Yeah. But very informative. Thank you for answering that. So I just thought of another question. I want to go back a little bit to your background. Maybe you can talk about where you currently live in Boston. Yeah. Where are you originally from? Where have you lived? Yeah. You have a very interesting background, and I want our viewers to hear it as well.
Yeah, great question. And it's one of the questions that I often struggle with because I fail to identify myself to any particular geographical location because I've constantly been moving around. I'm born to Indian parents, of course, but then I have been living in England for very long, as well as in Scotland, where I did my undergrad and my master's. Then I moved to continental Europe. So I've been living in Germany, Netherlands, a little bit of Austria, where I did my higher education, my PhD. And then actually, United States was never in my list. I don't know why. But then I got this amazing job opportunity and I decided, you know what, why not? Let's move to the US. And at that time, this was like, I loved Boston. It reminds me a lot of Europe. It's not that concrete pile like other American cities.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere is just like booming. You have academics, you have business people, whatever you want, especially if you are the medical field or any academic field, this is the field to be. And another thing why UoPeople was a hit for me is that this was before pandemic times, right? When I decided is that, okay, I have a job which is like I start at 8 and I finish at sometimes at midnight. There is no limitation to when I can stop or when I can go home. So obviously a traditional university is not going to work for me. So UoPeople was perfect for me that, okay, I can log in anytime, do my courses and assignment at any time. We do have a deadline that goes from Wednesday to Wednesday. So as long as I'm within that, limit, doesn't matter where I'm located. I could be, my new home in Boom Moon in a few years, and I will still be able to do my degree. So yeah, I call myself a global citizen, and things are still going that way.
Wow, I love that so much. So you chose University of the People because of the flexibility.
Yes, one of them definitely is flexible. I mean, I have to quit my job otherwise to do an MBA, which I don't want to.
Yeah. And what were some of the other reasons you decided to study at University of the People?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a big fan of diversity. And when I looked at the student and the mentoring pool, I was blown away. Like, as you mentioned, we have over 40,000 students from all over the world, which is exactly what I like. I don't like to limit myself to people because I want to learn more. And it's not only just the cultural exchange, you also learn a lot about your field from other people. How do they do business and stuff like that? So that's another reason. And another thing that I've already mentioned is that, frankly, I don't think any of us, unless you are a millionaire or a spoiled kid of rich parents, can afford business school. I don't just get it. And I love it how University of the People is making an impact by completely disrupting this traditional thought process and letting people earn a degree, which is a fundamental human right. So yeah, all these three make me decided to go for UoPeople.
Okay, very well said. And I love, you're so excited when you speak. I love it. I think it's probably part of your charming personality.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so Sam, maybe you can also talk about some of the challenges that you faced in the past with pursuing higher education.
Yeah, as much I love hopping countries, it's not that easy. Yes, the adventure factor is there, the new factor is there, but it's not like traveling as a tourist. You just don't get to see what they want to show you. You get to see how they live, how life is in a country, how the people are. So because I constantly keep changing, for me, it's always a restart from zero, back to square one again. You learn the country, you learn the people, you learn their ways. That has been incredibly hard, but incredibly rewarding. Like, my personality is a blend of all the places I have lived and all the peers and the mentors that I've lived with. I've learned to be kind, I've learned to be confident. All bad things that I have in my personality have been kind of wiped out because of that moving from country to country. So this is one of the hurdles, especially if you want to go and learn, but it's totally worth it.
Okay, wow. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think about that, how you're traveling from country to country, living in country to country, and it does,
yeah.
For
example, when I moved to the US, I had a hard time adjusting with these hour-long meetings. It just never seemed to end. And people take forever to get to the point. This is such a stark contrast to Germany, where things are,
right,
and meetings are over in 5 minutes. But the learning point for me was this is United States. I work with people from 30 countries. I just cannot go and say, boom, here you are. This is my message, bye, because that's rude. So that's something that I learned, how to work with people from 30 countries.
Wow, that's so interesting. Yeah, Americans do like to have long, pointless meetings because you're not just getting to the point. You're like, oh, how are you? Yeah. How was your weekend? And Germans are like, whew, yeah. I didn't think about that. Wow.
And I agree. if you have to convey a message, it doesn't have to be in a very harsh way. So there is a middle ground, and this is what I learned from the United States.
Wow. Yeah. Are there any other like really interesting differences that you can talk about, like the German example? I'm curious.
Yeah, it's probably not so nice for my American friends, but even they admitted that when people ask here, how are you doing? At least when I first came here for my interview, I was like, wow, people actually care. How am I doing? It turns out it's just hello. But that I have struggled with forever, that why bother asking when you don't want to get an answer. So I still keep replying when someone asks me, how are you doing, that I'm fine, how are you, because that means actually something in Europe. But it took me a while to figure that out.
I never thought. No, I mean, I have thought about that, but not that it's like just like a hi. Like it's like. But I'm from the Midwest, and like I feel like we actually mean it. Like Midwesterners are a little. I don't know if you've had exposure to Midwesterners and probably Southerners, but we kind of mean it.
Yeah, but in the West and the East Coast, you can forget it. Life is fast.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we could go down this road, I can see, but let's shift it a bit and let's talk about you spoke a little bit about how studying online benefits you. Maybe you can talk a little bit more about how how about studying online has benefited you.
Oh yeah, definitely. As I said, that this was my number one criteria, that this would have been only possible for me if I would be able to attend school virtually. So that's something that UoPeople does really nicely, and I think they're an expert in this, given that we have a global community of students. It's not possible to even have a certain time, certain hour. We have the time difference, right? Australia is already asleep, so how are we going to handle that? So I think that's something that I have tremendously benefited from, that you have your own empirical time frame. The clock starts and the clock ends after a week, and you figured out how you want to distribute your time to learn. All the resources are there, the lectures are there, the mentors and the peers are there to help us out. We have a very live help community via Yammer and WhatsApp, and even in the online portal. So help is almost available around the clock, and this is something that I really love about the online learning, that if I miss that lecture at 5 p.m., which I probably will all the time, it's okay. I don't have to worry about it. It's all there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, and for those who don't know what Yammer is, it's like UoPeople's internal social media. So it's another way for UoPeople students to interact with each other. Okay, this is good. There's a question. Okay, I wanted to say also that if you guys have questions, feel free to ask them, and we'll ask Sam. So here, I'm going to show this one on the screen. Hi from Indonesia. I want to ask, what about study schedule? What about the time difference between countries? That's a very good question. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, Sam, I'll let you take it.
Sure. I think this is something that I just mentioned, that given that it's a global community, we have students from all over the world, it's just not feasible to have a fixed time, for any one of us, because East is awake now, but West is awake now, but East has already fallen asleep by this time. So UoPeople has set up something like a weekly timeline, and once you log into your portal, you can see the clock. And as long as that clock is ticking, you have time. And after a week, it's usually on Wednesdays, the clock stops and your time is over. So whatever assignment you have, whatever lectures, courses you have to go through, you have to finish it within that clock that is set up by the University of People. And it's not based on any location, any country, or any time zone at all. So it's like an internal clock, which makes things even more convenient. So you don't have to worry about it if you're in this university.
Okay, thank you for answering that question, Sam. Well said. And guys, viewers, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask Sam. We'll try to address them. Okay, so moving right along, Sam, what do you plan on doing with your degree from University of the People? You are quite ambitious, so I'm sure you have something up your sleeve.
Yeah. I think that's a great question. So ultimately, down the line, I want to start my pharmaceutical company, as I've mentioned. So this is my vision as of now. That being said, there is no guarantee. Maybe I will end up doing something else. Who knows? Definitely in the field of human diseases, because that's my passion. And so I want to use this knowledge to convince investors to finance my first round of capital for getting this company started. And then as I have some foothold and the company starts gaining attention, I continue using this knowledge, this MBA degree, to expand my company, learn how to deal with employees, how to basically run a successful company. And then finally, I think that everything comes down to giving back to the society. So I want to kind of carry this vision of UoPeople forward by either starting a scholarship for people who are less fortunate, or even, if allowed, serving as a teacher on UoPeople, for example. So
wow, I love that. And we have a message. Well, very ambitious. I wish you all the best of luck with your goals. Okay, so maybe you can also. There was a question from Hikmat, and Hikmat asks what your PhD was in.
The topic, you mean the field?
Yeah.
Yeah, so my PhD is in molecular medicine. So I focused on trying to develop special kind of cures for advanced lung cancer patients. It's one of the most common cancers in the world. And yet, the outcome is not so nice. So we are trying to see if we can do something about it. So that was my PhD. And I have shifted my focus. Now I'm working on brain cancer in adults and kids.
Okay, amazing. And maybe you can talk about a little bit about the courses, what the classes looked like. I just saw that as a question from Freddie. So, about like the student experiences, what the classes look like, what the instructors are like, what it's like to study with your peers.
Absolutely. As I said, it's a very global community, and I think it's also a very compassionate community, given that, as Jessica mentioned, that there is an optional English foundations course if you're not comfortable with the language. If you are, feel free to skip it or do it. Either way is fine. And then once you get into the main modules, the whole course has been split up into, as I said, different modules like accounting fundamentals, statistics, organizational behavior. And as you go into further detail, the courses get more and more complex. So another cool thing about this is that you don't have to select the courses. They are automatically selected for you. Like as a business novice, for me was this organizational behavior and theory. So that's course module number 1. If you don't pass it or if you don't cover it, you are not allowed. Like the next module will only be open for you once you pass this one. So that's really great. Like, when I get these 10 things on my screen, I'm like, where do I start? And there's only one way you can start, and that's already selected by the university mentor, so you don't have to worry about it. And the way this study works, as I said, that it's a weekly module, and they release the modules part by part so that you are not overwhelmed. There's a discussion section where you can post comments, or if you get stuck, peers or mentors will help you out. And if it gets too overwhelming for you, you can drop a module, you can write to your mentor and pick it up next semester. And I found it amazing. I already dropped one, just to let you know, because it got so overwhelming for me, and that was perfectly fine. So if you can do it at your own pace, which is amazing. Working individuals, family people who are back to school after, 20 years, it's for everyone.
Okay, amazing. And I have a question from Carl Logan. What advice would you give to UoPeople students that want to conduct research but do not have research experience?
So by research, it's a very broad word, you know. Are you talking about health research? I mean, there are research where you actually sometimes don't need research experience, like computer-based research, algorithm-based research. So that those areas are quite flexible. If you want to do research in health sciences or medical sciences, almost all the universities offer volunteering or shadowing plans where someone who has no idea about this field, regardless of their age, gender, interest, can shadow a scientist for a couple of months and see what they can learn, and if this is something that interests them. That being said, things are different now during the time of pandemic, but once this is behind us, you can definitely reach out to universities asking for this shadow program. We have quite a few active one here in Boston.
Okay, well, you are just so insightful over there, Sam.
Thank you.
Okay, so, wow, I didn't anticipate so many questions. I said about 30 minutes. I think we'll take one more question and then we'll wrap up because I don't want to take too much of your time. Zahir asked a question. Here, I'll put it on the screen. Zahir, I have a question. What tips can you give for students who are studying health science for their careers in the future? Now, we know you're not a health science student, but you know, you're...
Yeah, I'm in this field.
It does overlap a lot, so maybe you can talk about that.
Yeah. To speak from the business perspective of things, you know, health science is going to stay. It's not going to go. As you can tell, that this pandemic has really opened our eyes to what areas are absolute priority and what are, luxury. So health science is something that is the priority, that has been the priority and will continue to be one of the areas of priority for human civilization going forward. I think that there are a lot of opportunities out there, whether you want to be... So health science is, again, a very broad term, right? It can be hospital management, it can be caregiving industry, it could be research, or, you know, being a healthcare provider, doctor, or anything like that. I just want to say that keep your eyes open and keep your mind open in terms of where you want to go and what you want to do. The opportunities are endless. Exploit Google to the fullest extent, as much as possible. Like, it's unbelievable how much information I gather, but take it with a pinch of salt, of course, because people can write whatever they want on the internet. Not everything is true, so get it validated with someone you know. And again, feel free to reach out to me separately, regardless of this interview, if you have any other questions that I can guide you with.
That's very sweet. I tagged Sam on Twitter and Instagram, so you can find her that way.
Just one quick question. I'm not a social media person. I just have them because everyone does. So LinkedIn would be the best way to reach out to me.
Okay, perfect. Okay, and let's ask two final questions. The first one is, what was your favorite moment at University of the People so far?
This is when I got my official acceptance, and then, you know, I logged in to see the Moodle, how it looks like. And when I saw that how many people were enrolled and from how many different parts of the world and different backgrounds they were, it simply blew my mind. And that's one of the memorable events. This is my first time going to online school. I'm used to meeting and greeting people in public, which is probably anyway not the case anymore. So online is the way to go. So it really blew my mind to see the reach of this university worldwide. I even, the world is round and small. I even bumped into one of my colleagues from Boston via UoPeople.
Oh my goodness, no way. That's so cool.
Yeah, it was great. Really great.
I love that. Yeah, the world is very small. Okay, so one last question. So we have the application deadline, which is tomorrow. What advice or tips do you have for those looking to transition to an online degree or to studying online?
It's new, especially if you are not used to it. I guess not everyone started studying during pandemic. We are all from before pandemic times. So it's new for all of us, but I would say go ahead, take a chance. It's disruptive, but it's so fun and exciting. As I said, that the flexibility is the best part of it. One thing that I had to do for myself is that I constantly keep procrastinating, and I keep putting priorities, the wrong priorities. So you have to set aside you have to dedicate a couple of hours every day or every week and get the thing done. Just because it's online doesn't mean you are free to do whatever you want and you don't have to meet the goals. You have to. And it's some kind of discipline that took me a while to get into. But once you get that in your system, it works perfectly. So discipline. Take some hours aside for your people.
Okay, perfect. Well said. You are hired, Sam.
Thank you.
My co-host, you were so amazing and engaging. I love your energy, and thank you so much for being here today. I feel like we could go on and on, but I know you're busy with your job and researching. So thank you, Sam, for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Jessica, for setting this all up. This is all you.
This was really great. You did. You're the star. So, and to all our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, tomorrow is the application deadline. So don't forget to save your spot. There is a link in the description of this event for you to do so. And I hope everyone has a great day and everybody stays safe and healthy and connected with UoPeople.
Jessica, quick question. I'm seeing a lot of messages here. Is it possible to share my email address or somehow with people to reach out to me? I would love.
Whatever the best way for people as long as you're comfortable with that. Yeah. But whatever is the best way for people to reach out to you.
Absolutely. Email will be the best way to reach out to me. I don't know. I will provide it to Jessica and she can share with you guys.
We can put it in. You can write it in the comments actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't have it open for me. Interesting. I just see the private chat.
Okay, so you can. I can provide it. No problem.
Okay.
I'll do it on my end. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. And don't forget to save your spot if you haven't done so already. Any questions, you can email me, DM me. You can contact your advisor or admissions@uopeople.edu. And thank you so much. And thank you, Sam. Everyone have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.